All right, joining us for more on the increasing attacks on emergency personnel is Mpho Mponeng, SA Emergency Personnel's Union President. Good evening, Mpho. Thank you very much for joining us on The Full View. Let's start with just your reaction to the incident in Kabokweni, where the 2 paramedics were assaulted by family members. What did you make of that?
Good evening, and thank you for having me. Of course, we are very much shocked and disappointed by the very same action that were actually conducted or done by the very same community members. But I must indicate that this attack is sending a very clear message to the department that there is a problem in the EMS. Why am I saying there is a problem in the EMS is because that on its own, the attack on its own is a clear indication that there is a shortage. Remember, the cause of these attacks at some point is caused by the very same MECs who are throwing very big events when they hand over the ambulances. And you'll concur with me that the ambulances that are actually handed over in most cases are not enough. And while they are not enough, the community members at home, they are sitting with the impression that there is enough ambulances and the service will be adequate. So when they request a service of an ambulance, that's when the problems start. And you'll understand with me that people are sitting with their family members who are sick, very, very sick, I must indicate. So they lose that patience. So that is the problem. That is why we're making a very serious call to the MEC that stop misleading the public when you hand over fewer ambulances. And I must also indicate that prior to this incident, we received a report from our members indicating that in Mpumalanga, 98% of ambulances that are operational, most of them, they have more than 500,000 kilos. So that on its own is telling you that an ambulance will operate for a week, and after a week, then that very same ambulance will be taken back to the garage for maintenance and so forth. So obviously, when the ambulance is taken back for a service, you are saying to us that the service is not going to be adequate.
Now, Mpho, possibly if we were to speak to the Department of Health, they'd speak of budgetary constraints. But beyond this one, which to a certain degree they can't necessarily help, what are the obligations, though, on the side of the Department of Health insofar as it concerns the safety of these medics?
Yes, you must also talk about the very same issue of safety, that it is important for the department to make sure that they prioritize safety. And if you check within the regulations of Health Professional Council, it says the medic must first, before they attend to the scene, and check as to whether they are safe or not. Basically, that is the situation. And it is unfortunate because there is a serious level of intimidation, because most of our members are charged if they prioritize their safety. And if they are not actually responding to such kind of calls where they see that they are not going to be safe, come to the following day, they will be charged. And so you see our members are between the hard rock, and so it's quite difficult for them to operate, because now you have to risk your life because tomorrow you'll be charged and you lose your job. So we're having so many cases that we're defending, and some, like in Free State, we lost the case there, and our member decided was dismissed precisely because he was prioritizing the safety and there was a problem of shortage, and he was charged.
So should police come on board? Pardon me for interjecting there, but just in the interest of time, should police come on board to assist the Department of Health?
Probably you'll agree with me, you are a South African. The service of the resources, police are running out of resources. So if you are going to say the police will actually assist in protecting or escorting ambulances to the communities, obviously the response time is going to be very, very much poor. So what we are saying as SAIP, we are saying let's earmark the areas that are dangerous, and the department must procure a service of security where in those specific areas, because we know them right now as we speak. We know that an ambulance, if can go to Rustenburg in Sunrise, the ambulance won't come back safe. If an ambulance can go to KZN Umlazi, it won't come back safe. We know there are so many places, I can't mention them one by one, but I can indicate that if the service of the private security can be utilized, I think most of our members will be safe. But we're still saying we need the cameras and we need panic buttons in those vehicles. And in Mpumalanga, Limpopo, including Northern Cape, not forgetting KZN, they don't actually respond to our call about safety measures. Those ambulances are not protected. They don't do anything. They just hand it over. So the people are operating with the mercy of God.
So, Mpho, are you saying procuring services here of security would be far cheaper than actually purchasing more ambulances?
Yeah, you need to balance the two. You need to balance the two, because the very same ambulance, it won't assist if it cannot reach a certain areas, because in other provinces, they know. For instance, as I gave you an example about Sunrise in Rustenburg. So we know very well that ambulance won't come back safe. And there is a destitute community members who are desperately in need of the very same service there. You can't say I can't service them precisely because this is dangerous going there. So they must balance as well. When they procure equipment and ambulances, they must also include safety measures. Why in Gauteng they've done that? Why in Free State they've done that? Why in Western Cape they've done that? It is possible. So the only thing is the issue of prioritizing the safety of our workers and stop intimidating them that will charge them when they don't respond to the calls.
And then in closing, what would your message be to community members? Because it still boggles the mind that you are attacking, or we are even reporting of EMS personnel that are being attacked by communities, the very communities they come in to assist. What would be your message to them?
Yeah, we are saying this issue of the attacks is not only affecting the department. We, as the community members, we must also take responsibility, because if the ambulance doesn't reach us in those the red zone areas, so we know that our people are poor, they cannot afford the service of private ambulances, because private ambulances, when they get into those kind of areas, they are protected by private security. So we are saying to the community members, let it be our call so that we can protect it. That is why one of our approach previously was saying the MEC must actually stop campaigning for the elections. They must also come together and run a campaign in those areas, so that community leaders in those areas, they must know that it is important for an ambulance to get into their areas and go back safe. So we're saying the communities and the people who are actually terrorizing our members, the community members, they know those people, so they must assist the law enforcers and to report such kind of incidents and or those people, so that they can be arrested, and our communities are going to be safe and they're going to receive the service in time.
All right, Mr. Mponeng, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's Mpho Mponeng, SA Emergency Personnel's Union President, speaking to us on the spike in attacks on EMS personnel.